What up everybody, it's Moss coming to you with another modern gameplay video. And today we're going back to a deck that I actually enjoy, a deck that I think I might end up taking to the modern RCQs this coming season, and that is Boros Prowess, or Burn, kind of depends on your perspective. Now, this deck I've done well with before. There's a 5.0 video on the channel that you can check out, but the deck's super straightforward. You're running DRC, you're running Swifty, you're running Slick Shot, and then you're casting a bunch of spells off of each of those cards. Pump them up, deal big damage. This deck, because it does want a good backup plan, that's my main complaint about the Gruul Prowess list that Brian Boss took to the Pro Tour and the team or prowess decks that existed before Modern Horizons 3. There's a problem of you drawing the wrong half of your deck at any given time. So this deck kind of mitigates that problem by just having a real solid backup plan of just burning your opponents out. Now, if you've ever played Modern, you're familiar with the burn package: Lava Spike, Lightning Bolt, Boros Charm, Skull Crack, Searing Blaze, Rift Bolt, and Skewer the Critics. But at our top end, we are also running a copy of Flage. Now, this is a Miser's copy of Flage. Could this deck potentially run more? Absolutely. But I think one of the biggest boons to this deck, something that realistically kind of works to this deck's favor that doesn't really make Flage a main component, is all of these 3-drop spells can be cast for 1 mana. These 2-drop spells are a hard 2 every time. Flage is a hard 3 and then a hard 4. Now, being able to come back from the graveyard is pretty important, super impactful. And chances are, with Boros Energy becoming such a dominant deck in the format, having Flage is probably going to be important. Now, to combat some of the things that we're seeing in the Modern Horizons 3 meta, we've got our good sideboard stuff. Sanctifier in deck, Sanctifier in Vec in the deck to deal with the Flages that we're going to see out of Boros Energy. Wear Tear to deal with problematic artifacts and, realistically, Necro Dominance. Roiling Vortex to stop all the life gain out of the Mono Black Scam deck, out of Flage decks, to stop all of the griefing and solituding and endurancing that we're going to see. Smash to Smithereens to deal with problematic artifacts, mostly Shuko. Admittedly, could this spot maybe be something like Harsh Mentor? It's a possibility. We've got Exquisite Firecraft to deal with stuff like counter spells to work through them. Jeskai Energy, Jeskai Control, still a pretty big threat to deal with, as is Blue-Black Frog. Meltdown to deal with all the chalices that we're going to end up seeing out of Eldrazi decks. And Lightning Helix just for us to gain life in the Prowess mirrors, in the Burn mirrors, and even against Boros Energy. But that's everything. I'll see you guys in match number 1. Alright, match number 1, and we're going to be on the draw. Unfortunate, but it is what it is. Alright, let's see. Hand is pretty good. We've got 16 points of burn in hand and a Mishra's Bauble to draw. I think we can keep this. We can just suspend Rift Bolt on 1. Alright, an opponent just plays Mountain and passes. Alright, let's go ahead and suspend. Let's go ahead and cast Bauble. Take a look at the top of their deck. And they're playing Bone Shards. Okay, so chances are they've got a lot of sacrifice synergies that they want to have. Alright, Sacred Foundry's interesting. Cavern of Souls. Naming Giant? Okay. I don't know what this opponent's on, but it is some crazy stuff. Yeah, we're hitting our opponent for a little bit. And let's go ahead and just cast this other Bauble and draw. Underworld Cookbook. Okay, so our opponent's doing something here. Alright, Lava Spike is the draw. Depending on what they do here. Alright, Urza Saga. Underworld Cookbook, Urza Saga. Fable? Alright, we're just going to go ahead and Boros Charm this opponent. Get him down to 13. And then we've got enough, like, burn spells in hand to hopefully bring him down. Let's see. Ooh, Flage is kind of sick here. Alright, let's go ahead and just cast Flage. So, deal 3 damage. I feel like going face might be the right option for us. An opponent doesn't have any black mana, so... Depending on what they do here, we might have him wrapped up. If we can draw another land, we'll be super close. Okay, they got a Traxa. If they can bring her back, there's a black mana. We're going to get Goryo's this turn. Yep. And then they're going to gain a bunch. Go up a bunch. Okay. Okay. So they're going to gain 7, go up to 16. Not necessarily the best place for us to be. And honestly, I think we should have seen that coming with... Oh, they're running Kragenwick Cremator too. That's sick. Okay. Okay, so they took that. Arena. They don't have Emmy. They took Fatal Push. And they got Fable. So we know what, like, everything in their hand is. Okay, good news. We do have the ability to bring back Kroxa next turn. The big problem is I don't know if we're going to get another turn to do all of this. Kragenwick Cremator is going to be real good. Alright, so they can float mana, get a Underworld Cookbook here. We at least have the ability to hopefully stop some of their shenanigans. And they have a Flage of their own, which is kind of sick. Okay, they're floating mana. They've got an Arena of Glory. And they can use this to get their Flage back, which is pretty cool. If we had held this up and really thought about it being Goryo's, I think we would have been fine. Okay. So we have 12 points of burn between this and Flage. I don't know if we're going to get 12 points of burn, though. Okay. And we know basically their whole hand. Sans the Arena. Okay. And there's that. We should have held it up. Man, we are really punting this game away. Oh my gosh, and we would have been able to do everything. Okay, so the question is, what do we want to do here? Because they can bring their Flage back, and I think we're actually just cooked. Yeah. Yeah. Man, we punted this game away in such a big way. Alright, Sanctifier and Vex coming in. And maybe the Roiling Vortex? No. I think we really just need to save as much as we can. Searing Blaze is really middling here. So we'll just bring in the Sanctifiers and say go. Alright, so we're going to be on the play for this game. No lands, no keep. Wow. 2 no land hands. That's kind of brutal. Alright, we gotta ship this one back. At least our opponent's mulliganing with us. Alright, 1 land. We have to keep this. I think we're just gonna put back Boros Charm and Boros Charm. Run it like this. Alright, play the Sunbaked Canyon, say go. This game's not really about us being super interactive with them, more us just stopping them from gaining life. Alright, they kept a card on top. We're just going to go ahead and play this Darcy. No land. Kind of sucks, but we got to deal with it. Okay, there's a Sorin for our opponent. Oh, brother. Alright. We're just going to pass. Yeah. Opponent, you get in for your 1. You do it. We probably could have upkeeped that lightning bolt that we have. And honestly, depending on what they get here, this might be a good opportunity. Okay, yeah. Let's go ahead and just cast this. We're going to go ahead and put Swifty into the yard. We got 2 types. And we're not hitting lands. We are looking just a little bit more hosed with each passing moment. And yep, Goryo's for Atraxa means that we are dead. GG's opponent. Alright, see you guys in the next one. Alright, match number 2, and we're going to be on the draw. Hands okay. We can go Swifty on 1, Rift Bolt and Lightning Bolt on 2. Maybe get some good cards. Opponent is mulliganing, which is good. Alright. Let's see. Alright, opponent mulligans down to 6. They start with an island. And what? That's it? Okay, just island. Alright. Let's go ahead and do this. Island means either they are, weirdly enough, humans or they're fish. Like, I know Nadu runs 1 basic island in the deck. They are mill. Okay. So we are just 2 ships passing in the night, basically. Though this barbarian ring does get just a wee bit better with everything that we're doing. We are going to have to try not to fetch in this matchup, which is important for us. Okay. So I think, honestly, the best thing for us to do is kill this crab. Get a prowess trigger. Cast this. And then we're going to suspend this Rift Bolt. And we're going to take a look at what they're about to draw. Which is just another island. Sick. Now, if they push, it is what it is. Okay. So we will soon have just 4 untapped lands if we end up getting Flage. So that's something. And we know that opponent has island in hand and then 3 unknowns. They go for the Field of Ruin. They're going to force us to search. That's pretty mean. So one of their cards in hand is probably just an archive trap. Alright, there's one of our 2. No archive trap. Interesting. Okay. Well, let's go ahead and bolt our opponent. And say go. We are not drawing super hot right now. Alright. There's a Misty. So they've got island and an unknown. Alright, we don't necessarily... Actually, you know what? Yeah, we'll go ahead and just deal 2 to you. Because we do still have this Inspiring Vantage right here. Okay, an Arid Mesa is not what we want to see. Okay, Rift Bolt isn't the worst, I guess. We do have to be cognizant of the fact that we only have 37 cards in our deck still. Opponent's down to 9. They get an Undercity Sewer. They're hitting us for 3 more. And they're surveilling. They're just looking for action too. And if they get a Tasha's, they're probably milling us for a bunch. They just put a polluted Delta in their yard. And they milled us for a couple extra cards. Okay. Bad news is they can archive trap us now. They can just hard cast. There's the Hideous Laughter. We're going from 31 to 15. Okay, and nowhere in this pile was there a copy of Flage. That's kind of impressive. They're not going for the easy attack there. They might have a counterspell. That would be kind of rad. Yeah, we're just going face for this one. Another Mishra's Bauble, though? That's brutal. Alright, and I think upon seeing that, we're just going to go ahead and concede, because there is no way that we are coming back after that. Alright, so against Mill, what do we want to bring in? Honestly, bring in Helixes, bring these in, bring these in, and I think we're just going to take out Searing Blaze. Well, actually, Searing Blaze does deal with their crabs. And just say go. Like, 67 with our pretty low land count feels bad, but at least we are raising our overall deck size, making it just a wee bit harder for them. But man, it's a rough way to go out. Alright, so we're going to be on the play for game number 2, and no lands, Mull. We got 2 lands. One of them is a fetch. That is a important thing for us to consider. We are holding on to a fetch right now. And against Mill, that's like the last thing that we want to do. But we are going to keep this hand put back. What do we want to put back here? It's probably putting back this Lightning Helix. Maybe it might be the Skewer the Critics, in all honesty. Okay, let's go ahead and put back the hard 2, because we've already got the Skull Crack, which is going to be kind of helpful. Opponent mulligans down to 6, which we can deal with. Alright. Let's go Darcy. Cast Bauble. Trigger. Honestly, I think we can keep Taylor on top. And then let's go ahead and see what you're getting. You're getting a Hedron Crab. I mean, Hedron Crab's not bad. Now, they don't play the Hedron Crab, which is interesting. Okay. If you got the Archive Trap, do it. They don't seem to have it, which is kind of sick. Okay, let's do this before everything. We'll graveyard that, because this does give us Delirium, so we can attack through for a bit. And then our opponent might just play this Hedron Crab now. I have no idea what our opponent's doing. Okay. So we can go for Skull Crack them down to 9, Skewer them down to 6, and potentially make this a lethal attack. We don't want to put any creatures into the graveyard. That's worth keeping on top. Opponent could counter this, though. If they really wanted to, they could counter this. Fetch a swamp and just go for the drown in the lock. But I don't think they will. Well, they're doing something. They're taking their time. And they might honestly just go for the drown on the Swift Spear. Wild that they go for the Spell Snare here. Okay. Spell Snare push. And not playing the Hedron Crab at any point. I mean, yeah, we'll attack him with both. We lose out on a point of damage. Okay, you extirpate our Rift Bolt, or our Lightning Bolt. Cool. Thankfully, like, Crypt Incursion costs 3. So, we're still doing fairly well. This has been like the slowest mill hand ever, though. Alright, and we will bolt the opponent. Boros Charm's still on top. That's wild. Okay. What you got for us, opponent? Okay, you're finally playing the Hedron Crab. That's good. Alright, so they go Hedron Crab, Polluted Delta. They're down to 2. They just get a basic. They mill our Boros Charm. They mill a couple Boros Charms. And they do have some creatures now. They gotta take out this Dran. Okay, there we go. DRC's gone with Drown in the Lock. Alright. Let's draw a card. Ah! Why? Okay, the bad news right now is if our opponent goes for a Crypt Incursion, they're going to get us for like 9 life, which is pretty bad. But who knows? I mean, we do still have 45 cards in deck. Okay. So they mill us for 4 more Slick Shot, Barbarian Ring, Arid Mesa, and Skullcrack. Yay, we got there. Were we going to end up getting the land? No, but we did have the ability to go over, so that's good. Alright, I think we're just going to run it back because there's no reason for us not to. Alright, so we are back. Let's see. This hand's kind of fine. We do have a lot of good things, and Darcy Bobble's always pretty good. The Searing Blaze could be a liability, but I think we're going to keep this just so that we can maximize on having as many cards as we can. Opponent's mulliganing hard. Like, they're going down to 5? Okay, I think we can run it. Hopefully they just don't have the nuts against us, though. That would be the worst. Okay, they're going for just Delta, do nothing. We're going to go Darcy and Bobble, Trigger. We have to look for a land. Alright, extra Bobble's not what we want. Let's look at what they're rocking on top. Okay, so they're gonna get rid of that Fatal Push, which is good. That means our Darcy lives for like an extra turn. So we can't really complain about that. Alright, they're fetching away that. And what are they about to put on to the... Oh, they kept a card on top. Interesting. Alright, we are drawing another Rift Bolt. This is rough. Okay, so they're just going land pass. We're going to go ahead and suspend this Rift Bolt. I mean, we've got the damage. We are just so slow about it. An opponent just has their Misty and they do nothing. They got 3 lands? Are they going to counter this? I mean, go face. We'll surveil. I mean, it sucks, but I think we got to keep it on top. Now, let's just go ahead and suspend this. We're giving our opponent so many turns to potentially catch up here. And if we can just hit a land, our hand starts to open up a lot more. But they're down to 13. We've got the damage in hand. They're going for a breeding pool. Why? Are they going to cycle the... Yeah, it looks like they're about to cycle Fractured Sanity. Wow, we were not hitting a land for a bunch of turns. So bad news is if they go for the Crypt Incursion, they're going to gain 6. Okay, so... Okay, I think at this point we do need the land more than we need any additional spells. Hey, let's go. Alright. So, what do? I think we do just need to hold up this Skullcrack for the possible Crypt Incursion. Like, more than anything else, we need to save this. Abrupt Decay. Okay, interesting, interesting. And Crypt Incursion is a sorcery, I think? So, good news, if we draw a land, we can kill them next turn. Okay. They play Ruin Crab, and they're just passing. We know that Crypt Incursion is 3 mana, so we're not super worried about that. Okay, opponent's down to 7. Again, we need to worry about Crypt Incursion. That's a huge problem for us. So I think just playing it safe is what we need to do. And I mean, again, the we've got the damage right here. But Seiju, mill us for some more stuff. Again, we're just gonna pass. Crypt Incursion is the problem. Okay, they mill Flage, they mill Slick Shot. Okay, I don't think we can realistically wait much longer. If Crypt Incursion's an instant, we're cooked. We're done. We're tapping one, Spell Snare. Okay. Let's do this. They're countering. That's such a pretty Drown in the Lock. Okay. Our opponent's gonna go down to 3 here. We are one land, one burn spell away from getting this opponent if they decide to crack the Polluted. They've got 3 cards in hand. We get a land, and we just about get there. They got Hedron Crab. They'll mill us for 6 if they decide to crack this. Okay. Okay. Opponent hits us with Field. And mills us for a bunch. We have plenty of lands left in our deck. What's our opponent doing with green and black? Alright. So we'll tap that for a red. Fetch this. In response, we'll cast this. In response, we'll cast this. Do you have the answer, opponent? Because you didn't have the counter last time. And we got there. Whew. Alright, that was a game. All right, see you guys in match number 3. All right, match number 3, and we are going to be on the play. And his hand is a little too drop heavy, but we do have Slick Shot. I think we can risk it. This is a little bit of a risky keep, but 8 and we got 14 damage in hand. Let's just hope it doesn't wind up like that mill game where we take forever to get another land. Opponent mulligans to 6, mulligans to 5. Hopefully we can get the time to, like, do everything. Mulliganing to 5 makes me think that they're Eldrazi, but they don't have the Devourer play. Alright. Play Darcy, say go. They are Tron. Okay. Swifty. Swing 2. As long as they don't go Chalice on 1 here, we might be okay. Okay, they go Ugin's Labyrinth. They put an All Is Dust under it. I hate everything. Can't even cast this Trinisphere now. Or can't even cast through the Trinisphere. Wow. Okay. Yeah. We're just pinging in. Opponent has all the time in the world now. Yep. There goes all of our cards. Boy, it sure would be great if we got to cast any of these. Our opponent has Tron. And they played Devourer. I mean, I don't know what we do to beat them at this point. It's bad, but I think we just concede. Yeah. I think our opponent just wins off the back of that Trinisphere. Okay, so we're going Damping Sphere and these Wear Tears. Maybe even this Meltdown? Searing Blaze isn't going to do anything, and let's cut some of those like slower cards and run it. Yeah, we're going to be on the play. Okay, Meltdown is fine. Let's go Inspiring Vantage Pass. If they go turn 1 Chalice, that's fine. They might honestly have the Dismember here, and if that's the case, I will... Well, let's not plot, because plotting it's not going to help us do anything. Besides maybe get around a Dismember. Yeah, we're not doing anything threatening to you, opponent. You have your second Tron land. We have a Darcy now. And let's go ahead and just send this Bolt upstairs. happily top that. Okay, opponent's down to 13. They have a forest. Cool, they have their Trinisphere. I don't mind just casting this for 3. And I think we can honestly put that in the graveyard. Swing in for 4. Opponent's down to 6. What are they going to do here? Looks like they're about to cast something. Okay. So, honestly, I'm actually going to just cast this for x equals 3. And let's top both of those. And let's run it. That honestly felt good. Keeping that hand on the back of Meltdown felt fine. Now what's this opponent going to do? Oh, opponent, I've got something for you. I definitely got something for you. Have you ever heard of Skullcrack? And yeah, we'll put that into our graveyard. Admittedly giving a little information. What you mean? Okay. Couldn't deal, like, direct damage to them because of the protection, but at least damage couldn't be prevented. I guess. Alright, so... Roiling Vortex. They're not really doing anything crazy with their mana, where they're casting stuff for free. Okay, opponent's gonna be on the play. I don't like this if they go turn 1 Chalice on 1. This is better. Let's go ahead and go for the best line that we can here. Okay. So, we will cast Bobble. Target our opponent. See that they're drawing a Devourer for turn. We will suspend Riftbolt. We got 13 damage for our opponent. I'm actually cool with the Talisman. Pop them for 3. And our life total isn't super threatened right now. I think we should just go ahead and pop off as many of these like one-drop spells as we can. Alright. I do like the slick shot here. I mean, if they go for Trinisphere, another Talisman? Okay. Let's see. Opponent's got 4. They're holding on to this Devourer for probably an Ugin's Labyrinth. Okay, they're about to kill something. Dismember targeting the Darcy. Yeah. So you'll take 1 down to 10. If we get land, we don't hate this. Yeah. Let's go. Alright. So, we will bolt our opponent. And we do have them within Boros Charm range this turn. Can we get there? Alright, there's the Labyrinth, like we expected. There's an All Is Dust under it. 1, 2, 3, 4. There's Karn. They turn Trinisphere into a creature. Let's cast. And we get there. All right. GG's opponent. I'll see you guys in match number 4. All right, match number 4, and we're going to be on the draw. I actually don't hate this hand because of the Darcy. I do think we will be in a little bit of a rough spot if they decide to interact with our board, which they might. Now, they're probably going to do something like fetch, get a Surveil land, Meticulous Archive. They are Jeskai? Because there's no way that they're just straight up blue-white. Oh, they're Esper. They're Gorios. They are another Gorios deck. Okay. They put a card back in their hand. Let's just go ahead and do this. We'll put that on top. And then next turn. Oh, opponent doesn't know what it does. And then we'll attack him. That's surprising. Though I guess the textless versions are gonna get some people. Now the question is, do we go for 9 damage? Alright, no Surveil. Okay. Let's Let's go for it. Graveyard. Graveyard. And graveyard. All right, if we can get through. Ah! Solitude. Why? Okay. That's kind of rude. I mean, understandable, but doggone. Alright, so. What does our opponent put into their yard? They get a Goryo's. They gain some life. Sick. And do we get there? Let's go, opponent. Do we get there? Do we get there? Come on. Come on. Let it happen. Let it happen. You biscuit. Alright, let's go. We got there. Holy cow. Okay, so Roiling Vortex and Sanctifier Invec in. What do we take out? Really just like all of the slow stuff. Flage has to come out. Rift Bolt and Skewer are gone, and let's take out an extra Rift Bolt since we are bringing in these Roiling Vortexes. Man, Goryo's is seeing a huge uptick. Between the Mardu Goryo's that we played earlier and the Esper one now, this deck is on the rise. Okay. This hand is super keepable. If we can get a fetch land or our... Oh my gosh, now I can't even remember the name of that. Like red-white Horizon land. If we get the fetch land or that, this Sanctifier is going to go insanely hard. Alright, Meticulous Archive on 1. They put an island into the grave. Let's see. Arid Mace is good. Let's go ahead and do Swifty, Cast Bobble, and then we will bobble our opponent. They're getting a Goryo's on top. As long as they don't grief our hand, I actually feel really good about this. And we have a third land, which is sick too. Okay, they Prismatic Ending. Alright. I would like to stop drawing lands at this point, though. That would be the best. Now, if our opponent has a Solitude, we feel pretty bad. But who knows? Alright, so Sanctifier hits the field. Nothing really happens. They might get another Surveil land. And Goryo's gets exiled. Okay. You have a Priest of Felrights, opponent. Who doggy? I would really like to not draw any more like fetch lands, just lands at all. Alright, let's get this other basic out. And we'll say go with the Sanctifier. All their good reanimation targets besides Solitude are black cards. They put a Plains into their yard. They might honestly just be looking for removal for this Sanctifier. What's opponent casting here? They're hard casting Grief, looking at a hand filled with nothing. Alright, now we get to sculpt just a little bit. Now the question is, do we want to go face or do we want to go anywhere else? I think face is the place. Oh yeah. We're absolutely running that. Alright, so let's go ahead and just run these out. It'll be interesting to see what our opponent does here. Alright, we're going to deal 4 to face. And Grief gets eaten. And we win the match. Alright, GG's opponent. I'll see you guys in the final match. Alright, match number 5, and we're going to be on the draw. Okay. This hand is kind of slow, but we have all of our lands. It's 12 damage. We can draw some good stuff. It might be worth it. Opponent has Prismatic Vista? Are they just... I'm trying to think about what Prismatic Vista could be in. They might be Scapeshift? I mean, Scapeshift is a very real possibility. Mountain Wastes? Talisman of Are they just Boros Eldrazi? I'm so confused. I love this. But now I have so many questions. Okay, let's go for suspend and cast. Alright, opponent's at 13. We'll be at 10 next turn. There's another Prismatic Vista. What is this opponent doing? Okay, they are Boros. Isochron Scepter? Okay, Isochron Scepter Silence. Sick. Isochron Scepter Silence is wild. I like that. So, that stays there. Okay, so are they just Isochron lock? Well, let's make them do it on their end step. Oh, I like this. Okay, well, we can still activate some abilities. And admittedly, all of this slow stuff is gonna get to us. I want to see what their win con is. Because now I'm curious. What could you be doing to win in this situation? Because nothing's underneath your Ugin's Labyrinth. Okay. Kozilek's Command. Are you just going to make big Eldrazi spawns? Are you just going to cast like a Ulamog or something? Isochron Scepter Silence is sick against this deck. Alright, so we have to come up with... Ooh, actually... Okay, Roiling Vortex is going to be a huge play against him. Okay, so you do the silence thing. Okay, let's just plot Slickshot then. Now, we are holding on to a lot of spells. And our opponent's not really doing anything, so I think they've got like a big Eldrazi in their hand that they're just waiting to cast. Okay. What are we getting here? Man, if only we had like a Surveil land at this point. I feel like that would do some work for us. Okay. We'll yield through this turn. We'll yield through this turn. This is rad. I like this. Opponent's doing the Isochron thing. Okay, opponent plays an Eldrazi Temple. 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 mana. 10 mana. This is interesting. Okay, I'm all about this. Alright, yield until the end step. Okay, opponent's at 2. What do we draw? If we draw a fetch land, we're so excited about what we're gonna do. Ah, oh, it's another Skewer the Critics. Oh, we were so close. Okay, opponent plays the One Ring. This doesn't make for good content, but man, is this deck sweet. Yeah, opponent, keep doing your silence thing. That's fine. We're so close. We're so close. We just need one more card for Threshold. And, like, they can't really fetch with anything. They can't really tap their One Ring. Oh, we are just right at the precipice. Okay, opponent has regular silence. Oh. We're almost there. What are they casting on our end step? Just a bigger Kozilek's command? But what are they looking for? Because none of their Eldrazi have haste. They might be looking for the Annihilator Emrakul. And I want to say it's got Annihilator 6? Okay. Opponents doing things. 2 top, 4 bottom with their Kozilek's command. Okay, another copy of the One Ring. I'm surprised they didn't draw with the One Ring that they had. Oh, they did. They did. Okay. Through the Breach. They're a silence through the Breach deck. Oh, that's so sick. Okay. Alright, so on our opponent's upkeep, we're going to have effects. Oh, that's so cool. Okay, so they're not doing the Isochron Scepter thing, so let's see if we can get through here. Oh wait, they did just play the One Ring. Yeah. That did happen. Alright, upkeep. Barbarians ring you? They're drawing off the One Ring. Can you gain life at instant speed? We got there! Alright, sick. I say that like that wasn't the first game, but oh my gosh, this deck is incredible. Okay. So, what do we do here? Obviously, it's the Roiling Vortex. Obviously, it's smashed to smithereens. Oh, opponent's deck is just perfection. Oh man. Okay, so we're gonna go down on some number of the Rift Bolts. I honestly want to bring in Wear Tear as well, because something tells me that they're gonna end up having a Chalice somewhere. Yeah, so we're going down almost everything, but I think we're putting ourselves in a much better spot against this absolutely sweet deck. Okay, so opponent's gonna be on the play. Our hand looks kind of decent. We've got 10 damage worth of burn spells. They've got a Devourer of Destiny. If they go Chalice on one here, we cry. They go for Eldrazi Temple. It's not Chalice on one. Now, the question is, do we go for... I don't think we go for the Bobble play. Not yet. But I do think Slick Shot into Mishra's Bobble is good. Alright, there's Isochron Scepter, and there's Lightning Helix. Ooh. Spicy, spicy opponent. Oh, this deck is so sick. This deck is so sick. Okay, they get a Sacred Foundry off their next draw. They're probably going to protect whatever thing they have going on. We get another land, which doesn't feel great. They're obviously just going to go ahead and kill the Slick Shot here. Okay, so now the question is, how do we want to deal with this? Because I do think we need to protect our Swifty, but it's just... Wow. Opponent with the sweet deck getting even sweeter by the second. But we're drawing so cold to everything. This feels not great for us at this particular juncture. Oh, there's such a sweet Through the Breach deck. With like a good backup combo too. Okay, this exiles, so Swift Spear's definitely down for the count. Let's go ahead and just ping our opponent for a little bit. And see what's the most they can do here. They could go for Through the Breach. And honestly, they can go for Through the Breach with Isochron backup. Yeah. You got it, opponent. Oh, wow. They're going for the exact line? No, they're going for Devourer. Okay. Devourer is better. Devourer is much better. Swifty's not going to do it, unfortunately. Alright. We get to go into game number 3 against this opponent. Damping Sphere seems okay, maybe, but let's just run it back. Alright, we're going to be on the play. And hand is sweet. We're going to go Inspiring on 1. And Vortex on 2. And then it's just Slick Shots and Meltdown to ride out the rest of the game. Okay. Okay. They're running all the sweet tech right now. So they've got Leyline, they've got everything that they could want. Alright, Flage is pretty cool for us. We're just going to go ahead and cast this Roiling Vortex, though. They go for a Talisman of Conviction. What can we do here? Let's go ahead and just cast this Slick Shot. I do actually like a lot of what we can do here. If they go for an Isochron Scepter or something to that effect. Ooh. There's so much sweet stuff that's going on here with our opponent's deck. I cannot fathom. I am fangirling over what our opponent's doing. Okay, let's go for the other Slick Shot. And then we'll go and target their Talisman of Conviction. Our Slick Shots will trigger. Opponent gets a Wastes. They're probably going to go ahead and Kozilek's Command us. Make a couple little guys. Yeah, and that only takes out creatures. If it took out permanents, opponent's down to 10. Now, we cannot attack them, or we cannot hit them with the Flage trigger, unfortunately. Ooh, opponent just goes for the One Ring. Okay, interesting. Draw a card. Well, let's go ahead and Flage something. Now, again, the fun line would be if they let us hit. Okay. They did. Our opponent let us hit their stuff. Okay, well, we've got this, and we can save ourselves a wee bit of damage and stop our opponent from gaining life. Opponent draws 2 with their One Ring. Oh, I love everything about this matchup. I love this deck. Whew. It's so cool. Alright. Opponent's really thinking over their decisions. They're not saying anything in the chat. Let's go ahead and draw a card off of this Sunbaked Canyon. Lightning Bolt's good. Now, we could... And we're going to X0 on this meltdown. And we win the match. All right, 4-1 with Boros Prowess. I'll see you guys in the wrap-up. All right, so what do we think of this Boros Prowess list? And again, 4-1, nothing to shake a stick at. 4-1's pretty good. Overall, like I said at the beginning of this video, this deck really does seem kind of sweet, all things considered. It's like the Prowess decks that exist in the format, but it doesn't have that problem of missing on some of its hits, and it's not running bad cards that are things like Soulscar Mage. Slickshot puts in a lot of work. Flage did actually have a couple of really good points there. Everything in the main board seems fine, and the sideboard can definitely be tooled to whatever you think your meta is going to be. Had I realized we were going to play more Goryo's decks, could have maybe gone up on some number of Sanctifier or bringing in more Graveyard Hate, but it was a good league overall. But hey, that's been this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. Make a comment on the video. Follow me on Twitter at MochaBeezy. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.